On this show, also, Roddy Piper is going to go on a rant type promo during which he'll acknowledge the WWF. Apparently, the week prior on Raw, Jim Ross was knocking WCW, calling them the Seniors Tour, the Over 40 promotion, and mentioned that he didn't believe there were any wrestlers in the WWF with only one hip, which, of course, Piper had just had hip surgery. So Piper will remind everyone that he worked a match at WrestleMania the year prior and defeated Goldust. Nowadays, Ted, acknowledging the competition is pretty commonplace, but back then it did not happen very often. What's
No.
your take on it when companies mention their rivals on TV? Do you think it's good
Well,
business?
I mean, yeah, hey, it's a war. So, hey, if you got to go for it, go for it. So, you know,
This promo from Piper also reminds me work shoot promos really became a thing for the first time during this period and will grow in popularity during the late 90s. You know, as a guy who grew up in wrestling, Ted, do you think a work shoot is good business if done properly, or a bad decision to make this kind of distinction between these type promos versus normal wrestling promos?
uh, I don't know. It's kind of like if you do the it depends on who's listening. I guess the average fan, I don't think it would know the difference. To you?
Well, it's, sometimes it's like this was also the era of smart fans, right? A lot of people were reading the Observer newsletter, and so they knew some of the behind the scenes stuff. So when a guy would kind of mix reality with work, the fans are like, "Oh, okay, is that a work or is that a shoot that this guy is calling this other guy out?" So it's like it creates intrigue, but then later on in the program when somebody just does a regular wrestling promo, the fans tune out because they're like, oh well, that's just storyline. What that guy said earlier was real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, personally, I think business is business. Take care of business and keep your personal shit out of it.
I agree. I think that we blurred the lines a little bit too much during this era.
Yeah, and and of course, I never did anything like that in any of my interviews.
I was gonna say there's zero chance of you ever doing a work shoot promo. I just cannot picture it.
Dude,